Hello students, let us see this problem. This problem here says that there is a bead that can slide without friction on a smooth, uh, inextensible light string of length 2L, and this string is fixed between two horizontal pegs that are at a distance L, right? Initially, this bead is released very close to one of the pegs. You have to determine the velocity of bead just after the string becomes taut. So you can pause this video now and start doing this problem on your own. And after some effort, right, if you got some insight or you have solved this problem, you can see the solution. So let us move on to the solution part of this problem. What is happening initially is very intuitive to see. Initially, there is no tension in the string because the string is slack. So, this ball will experience no force other than the gravitational force. It will, continue to move in a free fall fashion. So, it will move in a vertically downward direction, and after moving some displacement, obviously the strings will get tight and there will be some tension in the strings. So at this particular instant when the string becomes taut for the first time, let's draw a diagram, right? So by now this bead has achieved a velocity of v naught in the vertically downward direction, of course, because it is moving under free fall, and it has traveled a vertical displacement of x. Angle alpha is also given. You can determine the value of x and alpha etc using the Pythagoras theorem. So using the Pythagoras theorem, the value of x comes out to be 3l by 4 and alpha will be equal to 53 degree. We can also determine the value of v naught, and v naught is the velocity just before the string becomes taut, right? So there was no tension force before that. So it is in the free fall and its acceleration is equal to g. So v naught will be equal to root 2 gx, that comes out to be root 3 gl by 2. What after then? If I ask you what is going to be the trajectory of this bead after the string becomes taut, you just have to think it over and put a constraint over the motion of this bead. What is the constraint that it must follow? The constraint here is that at any given point of motion, at any given instant, if you want to add the distances of this bead from these two pegs here, the sum of these two distances is always going to be same, that is equal to length of this total string, that is 2l. And that is how we define the trajectory or locus of ellipse. So now you can see and say that this bead is actually moving on an elliptical path. So let us say this is moving on this elliptical path. Of course it is not going to cover the entire elliptical path. It will be oscillating here from somewhere this position to this position, right? It will be just oscillating, but we can always say that whenever the string is taut, the velocity of this bead is going to tangential to the path. This part we can always say, if a particle is moving on a given path, its velocity is always going to be tangent to the path. So uh, we somehow have to determine the angle made by the velocity. What is happening just after the string becomes taut? We can always say the velocity of this bead is going to be towards the tangent of this path, right, along this direction. So let's say just after the string becomes taut, this bead is going to move along this direction with speed v, making an angle beta with the vertical direction. And if we have to determine the value of beta, we somehow have to determine the slope of this tangent. So we have to move into mathematics part of this question, and that is going to be about solving the equation of tangent of this ellipse, right? So you know this part better than me. So here the distance 2a, a and b are of course semi major and semi minor axis of this ellipse, and we are taking the x direction along the horizontal direction. These points, these two points, fixed points or pegs, are basically acting as locus of this ellipse. And here is my coordinate origin. Upward direction is y direction, rightward direction is x direction. So this distance here is sum of these two distances is actually equal to 2a. So 2a equal to 2l, and of course the distance between the two focuses is equal to 2a, that is given as l. So e equal to this much, and we can determine the value of b also. So now if I want to write the equation of tangent, what can I do? First, I'll write the equation of this ellipse, and let's say the bead is at this point, have coordinates x1 and y1. So at this coordinates x1 comma y1, the equation of tangent is this much, right? So now we can determine the value of x1 and y1 also. That is going to be, since this bead is towards the left and downwards of the origin, x and y both are negative. So that is minus L by 2 and this much. And if we just put these value in this equation, we'll get this equation, right? So here in this equation of a straight line, we can determine the slope of this straight line, y equal to mx. So this m comes out to be minus 1 by 2. And if I want to say the angle of this tangent with the positive axis, x axis. So let us just see here. This is the positive x axis, and angle here with the positive x axis of this tangent will be going to equal to 90 plus beta. So tan 90 plus beta is going to minus half. So of course, cot beta is equal to 2. So we have determined the value of beta, that is going to be cot inverse beta. What then? There is still some physics part of this question unsolved, because we have just determined the angles, the angle with towards which direction this particle or this bead is going to move, but we have still not determined the value v. How are we going to do that? So now at this instant, there are impulses acting on this bead, right? Along the direction of force, there will be two impulses. Mg is not an impulsive force, so we are not counting the impulse of Mg, of course, because this event is a very, taking very small time, so we are not counting the Mg. So of course, only the tension force, and the tension forces acting on this bead at this instant are one tension along this string and one tension along this string. So we'll have two corresponding impulses, and since tension forces are same, the impulses are also going to be same, j and j. And since net impulse of these two impulses is going to be along the angle bisector, because these two are have same magnitude, so net impulse will be along the angle bisector, right, along this direction, making an angle alpha by 2 with the vertical direction. What I can say here is, since all the impulses acting along this direction, there will be no impulse acting perpendicular to that direction, right? So we can just draw an line that is perpendicular to the line of this j net. So here is my blue line that is perpendicular to the j net, and along this blue line there is no impulse acting. And if along any direction there is no impulse, that means there is not going to be any change in momentum, since there is only one particle we are talking about. Its velocity is also not going to change. So we can easily say the component of velocity initial and after, right? Just before the string becomes taut and just after the string becomes taut, the component of velocities along this blue line must be same. Now what is left is calculation part, and that I have left it to you. So component of initial velocity along this blue line will be equal to v naught cos this angle here, and this angle here will be equal to this angle here, and this angle will be total here 90 minus this angle alpha by 2. So v naught cos alpha by 2 will be equal to v cos this angle here, and this angle can be said to be beta, this angle, minus this much, which is actually 90 minus alpha by 2. So v is coming in terms of v naught, alpha and beta. Since all the values v naught, alpha and beta are known, you can just calculate it and there will be use of scientific calculator as well, because it is taking alpha by 2. Or also you can, without using the scientific calculator, you can also determine the values of alpha by 2, because tan of alpha is known, so you can just determine the value of half of tan of this value. So rest is up to you. You do the calculation. I did my part. Thank you. And if you find this video useful and helpful, please contribute to sharing this video. Share it among your friends. Thank you.